our next candidate is Simon Cardell. Simon Cardell is a candidate for U.S. House District 4. And this is a congressional district that covers the northeastern part of Texas, and it includes Denton and Collin counties. He's running to replace Republican incumbent Pat Fallon. So welcome, Simon. If you can just take a minute and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for office.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan of Mothers Against Greg Abbott, so I'm really glad to be here. But yeah, my name is Simon Cardell, and I am running for Texas 4th Congressional District. And I'm running because our nation is facing some real troubling times. We are extremely divided as a nation, and we're desperate for someone to step up and pull us together and get through these times. And I was looking around, seeing who would come and save us, and no one's coming to save us. So that's when I had to look inside myself, take this opportunity to show some courage for my community and step up and try to unite our country and move us forward, get us through these times. So I was born and raised in Plano, Texas. I lost my mother at the age of 4 to lung cancer, and that had a real impact on me. It kind of made me grow up kind of quick. And so I grew up in, a very wealthy neighborhood. And then once that happened, it kind of flipped, and I got to see the real world. I got to see this perspective of both sides of the economic spectrum. So I think that's given me some good perspective. And then I went to the University of North Texas. I studied political science. And then after that, I got into politics. And naturally, being born in Texas, I grew up in a Republican family. They're very conservative. So I entered politics with the Republican Party. And then this past year, I got an internship on Capitol Hill for a Republican. And I was there for 2 months and I couldn't do it anymore. I got, disgusted of what I saw. I saw people completely out of touch with the community, serving themselves, serving their donors, bending to extremism and just not doing their job. So that, made me very sad to see. But I was coming up on the age to where I can run. So that's when I decided to reach out to some Democrats back home and make some connections. They heard me out and they accepted me. And I'm very grateful for that. And now I'm fighting to, for our community.
Well, thank you so much for running. That's a great story, and I can definitely relate to some of that for sure. When I was younger, I used to be Republican, and it took like some critical thinking skills in my 20s to say, this is not what I thought it was, and I switched parties then. But I kind of had to go a little bit. It's like it's different theory when you're 18 versus when you're in your 20s, and you're paying bills and you're an adult. Gets to be very different. So I think I can relate a little bit to your metamorphosis into running as a Democrat. So thank you so much for that. So can you tell us a little bit about what are the top 3 issues for your district?
The number one issue is for me to win my race, because we are facing some real hard times. Our democracy is being challenged. Our, system of government, just our foundational American principles and our country is under attack. So my job is to win my race, defend the Constitution, and defend our system of government and continue to progress us as a society. And then the second issue when I'm on the ground talking to voters is safe communities. So this is crime, having a safe and secure border, substance abuse problems within my district. So I want investment into public mental health resources, common sense gun safety. So focusing on the safety and well-being of our community. And that also includes abortion protections on a federal level, because we have all seen how the state of Texas has acted on this issue. They have made it very hard for women and families. You hear all these horror stories. So I think federal protections are necessary. Like you have Ken Paxton going after doctors, threatening to put people in jail. So that's enough. I think the federal government should step in and should pass some protections. And then the third thing is government reforms. I feel like people just feel very disconnected with their government. They don't feel heard. They don't feel like they matter. They don't feel like, they have any say. So I want to reform the government through campaign finance reform. I think people in their districts should be the ones that donate to their candidates, and not, global corporations or billionaires from different states and different nations donating to people. So I want the government, our leaders, to work for us again. I also want to, restore some honor and integrity in our government. I kind of want to increase transparency, open up our public institutions to the public, because I feel like there's a lot of corporate capture going on inside of agencies like the EPA and the USDA, where it's kind of like an oligarchy, where these giant corporations have all of the power, and this is just business to our representatives. So I want to restore it to a government, looking out for the public and not private interests. Also what's important is starting to pay off our national debt and pass a balanced budget. Because our debt is coming to a point where it's, the biggest expense of our paying. So that's a real problem. And for my generation, we're going to have to walk into that. So I think it's definitely time that we give it the proper attention and solve it.
As you just mentioned, your generation. Simon, you're one of the youngest candidates running for Texas office right now. You're actually a Gen Z candidate. So how
Mm-hmm.
has your youth helped you while you're running for office?
Well, it's being in a very Republican district. When I knock on everyone's door. And when I go up to talk to people, they're just so happy to see me. They don't care if I'm a Democrat or Republican. The older generation, like, they are looking for people like me and for us to step up and get involved and take control. So it's a very accepting, positive environment. And that's something I was very scared of, because it's terrifying when I was first making this decision, putting myself out there, putting my name out there, kind of exposing my whole family, but and how things are perceived as, like, we are very divided, and it's, very passionate, and there's a lot of hatred. But once you actually get out there, it's pretty awesome to see how amazing people are and how much we can connect on a fundamental level. So it's been very inspiring to me. I have walked into this and people have just been so positive and supportive. So when I'm going around and I'm knocking on people's doors, I'm getting a lot of people in my generation. They see what I'm doing, and I get them on board and I get them on the team, and it's a lot of fun.
That's really great. So, for anybody who's out there who is Gen Z, I just want to let you all know that we have a new website that is part of our Mothers for Democracy Institute, that is called GenZDecides.com. That really kind of helps give Gen Zers some tools to go out there and vote, and the reasons why you need to go out there and vote. Because right now, there are actually more Gen Zers that are eligible to vote than, other generations. And if we got Gen Zers to go out and vote right now, they can basically call the shots for the rest of their lives, because there's actually quite a few of them. And this is something that has happened in other countries in Europe. So the boomers in London or in England have been able to decide every single election in England since they were eligible to vote, which is stunning. But that kind of power currently in the United States, Gen Zers have that kind of power right now in the US. So just a little FYI, because I know I'm nerding out and I apologize. But anyways, Gen Z really has the potential to make amazing change in government and in our country right now if they can all register to vote and get out to vote. So, and run for office like Simon, super important. So thank you so much, Simon. I'm so glad you're running. Can you tell us a little bit about where we can find you and how best we can support you right now?
Yeah, for sure. You can find me at simonfortexas.com, and it's the number four, fortexas.com. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Simon for Texas. And then you can just reach out to me on through email, through my website. My email is howdy at simonfortexas.com. Please reach out to me if you want to join my campaign, if you want to get involved, or if you just want to ask me what I think or just want to chat, please reach out to me. And then the best way that you could support me is to vote for me, and sending a donation goes so far, because it's a tough reality to face of how much money plays into our political system. So that would be a great help. But if you just want to send me an email and want to get involved or chat, I'd love to, or follow me on my social medias. That'd be great.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Simon. I'm so glad you joined us this evening and we got a chance to meet you. And I can't wait to meet you on the campaign trail. So thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.